Welcome to This Is My Circus, the podcast where we embrace the chaos and keep it real about parenting, pop culture, true crime, and the books we can't put down.
Because let's be honest, life is one big circus, and we're just trying to survive with caffeine, sarcasm, and a little true crime obsession.
So if you love unfiltered conversation, questionable parenting hacks, and deep dives into the things that keep us up at night, you're in the right place.
Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's get into the chaos.
I'm Stefanie.
I'm Meredith.
And welcome to This Is My Circus. And Meredith is not here. We are Zooming today.
Yep, we are Zooming today. I am at the beach.
Lucky
I am
dog.
sitting on my balcony right now and just came in and had some supper and just enjoying some away time.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Nice. Well,
Yeah, I worked yesterday, so it was tough to sit here and know I was right here and not be able to enjoy the sun. But,
at least the view is nice.
Right. The view is nice. So we're at Myrtle,
Yeah.
Dirty Myrtle. Whoops, I dropped you. I caught you. I got you. Yeah, so we're like north. It's not like the party area or anything. So that's really good. Jackson brought a friend and, they're doing their thing. Is Dylan at the beach?
No, he is actually miniature golfing with Ruthie right now.
I thought that he was going to the beach this week with Tyler.
No. That's like the end of May, beginning of June.
And that's with Reagan, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally messed that up. So how are you?
Good. How was Easter?
Well, you saw my Easter basket that I made for Jackson. So it was fine. It was fine. So I ended up giving him his Crocs early that he had wanted. So I didn't do the ears, but I didn't have time. So I was not house sitting. I was dog sitting on Saturday. So I had to go back and forth and let them out a few times. The same time I was doing that, I was helping a friend at a wedding in Kings Mountain with her photography stuff. So I was doing that, plus trying to just mentally get myself together with what I needed to pack.
Yeah.
So I stopped at a Dollar Tree, Family Dollar or something, and just grabbed some of all the candies I know Jackson liked and threw them in the bag, and he was just fine with it.
Well,
Yeah, he was fine. So we went to church that morning, which was nice. We hadn't been to church in a long time. And actually, one of the ladies there, who I never would have expected, said, "I see you have a podcast. I've watched some of the clips sometime. So Charlene, if you're listening, hey girl." But I never would have expected out of all the people there to have said something. So that was funny. That was great.
You're famous.
Well, sure. But it was nice to go to church and do all that. So then we came home, threw our stuff in the car, and we left.
Nice.
And there was zero traffic yesterday.
Really?
I was expecting there to be just like all kinds of traffic jams and whatever. We did not stop one time. We got in the car and we got here like right at 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
No issues at all. I was like, thank you. Yes.
That's nice.
Doesn't happen often. So when it does, I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I had texted you. Dylan had to get his phone switched over, fixed, whatever. So we were at T-Mobile store and Dylan, I was on Amazon because we were sitting there waiting for all the data to transfer over to the other phone. And I saw a cooler backpack on Amazon. And I was like, Dylan, would you use that? Like when you go fishing, or because he goes fishing a lot with his friends. And he's like, yeah, actually I would. That's really cool. And I was like, add to cart.
Right.
And so that is what his basket actually was.
That's cute though. That's a cute idea. And actually probably not even add to cart, but buy now.
It was like, I wanted to make sure like the location address was right. And because there's like 4,000 different locations in there.
Nice.
Yeah. So he liked his stuff and he was happy. Ruthie was happy. So
I was going to say she was, because we know shopping for girls is not something we're used to. So she liked her basket.
Yeah. Lowe's came in clutch because one of her favorite colors is purple. So I was looking for a purple Stanley and everywhere was sold out of like purple, and Lowe's had a purple.
I'll have to tell Brian.
I walked around aimlessly, like looking for it, and it was right by the register. But I went around the entire store.
What day were you there?
Saturday.
Oh, so let me tell you this. Let me make sure this door is shut. I don't know why, because Brian's going to listen anyway. So, as I said, I was helping Ashley at the wedding with the photography stuff, right? That's been on the calendar for a while. That was not a surprise. That was not new information. Also, for a couple weeks, Brian knew I was helping this lady with her dog, right? And how crazy that was going to be, and the packing. Like, it was a lot. I probably shouldn't have tried to take on all of that at one time, but I made it through. So Friday night, Brian's like, they're offering, if anybody wants to come in to work at Lowe's tomorrow on Saturday. I was like, well, sure, go. Thinking he would know I needed him home. Oh, and I was like, why is that such a big deal? Here's the other thing. Jackson and Brian are cutting yards. And they had told them they were going to be there at a specific time. Or I had relayed the message to the people saying that they would be there at a specific time. Well, Brian wasn't coming home till like 3. He worked like 7 to 3 or something. They were supposed to cut yards at noon. And I was like, I'll just put it in my car. So I threw all of it in my car and we went. But then backing out of the garage, because I was in my feelings, I hit the golf cart, little scratch on the side of my car from the golf cart. We get to the lady's house, and she had called me like as I was backing into the golf cart. And she said, my neighbor came and cut my grass. So don't worry about cutting it. But if y'all want to like get these weeds in the back and, do some other things. I was like, okay, let me call you back. I just plowed the golf cart over. So she was like, okay. So we get there, and she had sent me a picture of what weed she wanted down. So I'm weed eating, and all of a sudden the weed eater runs out of string. And I've already got so much in my freaking head that I've tried to, it's just those days.
Yeah. And that would have been the point where I start crying, because I'm a crier.
Yeah. So I actually, when I hit the golf cart, I was driving, obviously, and it was on the passenger side. And I got out, and I was not going to pull my car up again because I didn't want it to scratch more. I was like, let me just pull the golf cart away to avoid it. But I just sat on the golf cart for a second, just like closing my eyes and try to get myself together. He said, Mama, you good? And I was like, just give me a second.
No.
So yeah, it was. And then, like I said, that was at like noon. I had to leave at 1 to get to Kings Mountain. It was just, those TikToks you see of like, I told my husband we're having 80 people over and he's out here like blowing out the attic or something random. It's what they do.
Yeah.
It's what they do. But it all got done and everything is good. And I am sandy and salty. So
it's all good now.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. This yellow is making me look really tan, isn't it?
It is. And it matches your hat.
It does. Look at me.
You.
My bathing suit. Because I'm going back in the hot tub. Sorry, I'm all over the place today.
No, it's all good. You're on vacation. You're allowed to be.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I found a really cool online tool for ADHD.
Okay.
And I know that we are both super flighty. It is called Goblin.tools.
Okay.
So it is this site, and you pull it up and you type in whatever the task is that you want to do. Most people with ADHD, and I am very much this way, needs everything broken down into minute steps, and I like to be able to check things off to see that I'm making progress.
Yes.
So even if it's like clean my office, and I put in clean my office and reorganize books, and it will ask you how broken down do you want it. And you use like these little chili peppers. And it's 1 to 5 chili peppers of how broken down you need it. Okay. And then you hit the little magic wand and it breaks it down into minute steps. And then you can either use the website and like check off as you're going, or you can print it off and cross it off or whatever.
Yes.
But it is super cool.
That sounds like it's really handy. And I 100% get it. I am a list maker to my core.
Yeah.
For satisfaction of making progress, marking something off, showing that I've been productive.
And making sure I don't forget something.
No, absolutely none of that. I wonder if it's an app, or is it, you said it's the website?
I'm not sure. I had seen it on, I think, TikTok or somewhere. Somebody had like shown them using it. And I was like, that is so freaking cool. So I went in there and tested it and was like, I need to clean my office and reorganize my books on my bookshelf. And it was like, step 1, clean off the top of your bookshelf and dust it. Step 2, take off all of your books and rearrange by alphabetical order. If you don't like alphabetical order, you can do it by author. It gave you different ideas to organize. And then it's like step 3, put all books back up. Oh, dust off all shelves while books are off. Step 4.
I like it.
Yeah. So, and then it was like, clean off your desk, use cleaning product to wipe everything down. Any papers you don't need, throw in the trash.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's good. And you know what? With that too, it helps you stay locked into what you're doing, because I am the queen of, oh, I'm going to clean out my closet. Oh, I wonder if this dress still fits. This would look good on vacation. Let me go plan a cruise. I mean, random and extreme,
exactly.
But,
yes.
Nice. Goblin dot what?
Tools.
Goblin dot tools. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So really cool. I was pleasantly surprised by that little feature. And I'm sure like ChatGPT or whatever would also do that for you. But I just like the little chili peppers and the little magic wand.
Yes, absolutely. I have been using the heck out of ChatGPT lately. I've needed some help writing some things. And I'm like, can you make this sound more professional? Can you make this sound more empathetic or whatever? I'm loving it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I am a avid ChatGPT user for all the things.
All the things. Don't know how we live without it.
Well, you want to have a little fun?
Of course.
It's a personality test. So I'm going to give you 3 questions.
Okay.
And I'll tell you mine after we're done. Okay, so if you can be any animal in the world, what would it be and why? And just think about this.
What would it be and why?
Mm-hmm.
Did you come up with an answer pretty quickly? Because I'm like struggling.
I didn't at first, but it eventually, like I thought of something because I was like, oh, well.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like a domesticated cat.
Okay. And why?
Because they really don't have to do much of anything, and they're cute and adorable, and everybody loves them. Like if you like cats, you like cats. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a job.
So I had chosen dog.
I was going to choose a dog, but I was like, well.
And I was like, well, dogs are loyal and they like to cuddle, and, you know, your companion is like what I was thinking for, you know, like they're loving. Yeah. Okay. So if that animal became extinct, what would your next animal be that you would be and why?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm trying to think practically, not like because they're just cute and fluffy. Maybe like a lion.
Okay. Why?
Because they are powerful and respected, and which is kind of a lot of the opposite stuff of my first animal. But they're the top of the food chain. You know what I mean? Like they're them.
I chose an otter.
No, they're adorable.
They're small and they're fun and they get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. That's you. That is you. Is that what this is supposed to prove?
So, number 3. So if those animals were extinct, what would you choose?
I would choose like a big gorilla. I cannot wait to hear what these.
Why do you want it to be a big gorilla?
Because they have a lot of human traits, human capabilities. Like they got fingers and a thumb. They can do things. They can communicate. Again, I think they're respected. They're big and powerful. They're near the top of the food chain. They're not really aggressive, but don't provoke them.
Okay.
What'd you choose?
A sloth. Because all they have to do is eat and chill all day, and they have lasted since prehistoric times.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
It's not.
It's not because. What did we just reveal about ourselves with this?
So the first question for the first animal that you chose is how you want the world to perceive you. So like mine was dog, and it's like loyal companion.
Okay.
Cuddly.
I said cat because they were lazy and cute and cuddly. Okay.
So the second is how the world actually perceives you.
Okay. The lion. And what did you have? The
otter.
Cute and playful. Yeah, I see it. I am powerful and the top of the food chain.
I'm just like, do.
Yeah, pretty much. Spinning in circles.
And then the third is what you really are. Directly represents you and what you try to put out in the world. So I try to put out food and lazy.
I try to put out human capabilities.
It's better than a sloth.
Well, it's been around for a while. It's not going anywhere. See, this is hard. This is a very hard thing because we're both animal lovers. Like, I could have said 1,000 animals. Like, I had a very hard time just randomly picking an animal.
You know what is funny, though, is neither of us picked raccoon.
No. No trash pandas for us. We both love them so much.
So when you said sloth, you're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, no, that's not good.
That's funny, though. That is funny. I like that little quiz. I'm going to have to ask Jackson. I'm going to record it.
Yeah. Oh, well, ask Dylan.
Yeah. I like that. That's great.
I was like, oh, well, that's insightful.
I thought you were going to say, like, after I said it, I was like, oh, crap. Is one of those like your spouse or something? Like what you're looking for to spouse?
No, it's just how the world perceives you.
Okay, good. Nothing to do with them, just me. Like it.
Well, along those lines, have you heard this? And I don't know, I guess it was a real study, but the Disney princesses, they're all supposed to represent some kind of disorder.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay, so it and I'll link it in our show notes, but from the West Georgia Wellness Center.com, they have a whole article on it and it like breaks down each character. So I was like so confused, and then like it all made so much sense once I thought about all of these disorders that they connect to these characters.
Okay, so nothing is popping in my head except for Sleeping Beauty with narcolepsy.
Okay. So Rapunzel.
Okay.
She is supposed to represent post-traumatic stress disorder due to her long captivity in the isolated tower. Her anxiety and jumpiness when exposed to new experiences can reflect trauma-related responses as she navigates trust issues and profound fear of the unknown.
So is this really like, was this the intention when they created these, or is that just what we're picking apart now?
It doesn't say. It just says that there was, I guess, a bunch of psychiatrists analyzed the characters.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense for Rapunzel.
All right, Donald Duck, intermittent explosive disorder.
Yes. Yes.
He's a hothead by nature with a short fuse, and he's become iconic for that. His tendency to blow up over minor irritations demonstrates the sudden intense outburst often associated with IED. So I know lots of people that could be diagnosed with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even know that that was a legit diagnosis.
What's IED? Is that the explosive disorder?
Intermittent explosive disorder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dumbo, social anxiety.
I don't think I've ever seen Dumbo.
Really?
I don't think so.
When his ears, poof.
I know. Tell me about him, though. Why
Okay.
social anxiety?
It says Dumbo's experience in Disney's movie embodies traits akin to social anxiety disorder. Ridiculed for his oversized ears and left feeling like he doesn't belong, Dumbo's hesitance to engage with others can reflect profound fears of judgment and rejection. Poor little guy.
I know.
Simba is also post-traumatic stress.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, he witnessed his father being offed by his uncle.
Lots of trauma there for Simba.
So he grapples with intrusive memories and overwhelming feelings of guilt and shame. All right. So Tigger from Winnie the Pooh,
Mm-hmm.
ADHD.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Do you know that that was my favorite character, like forever?
Was it really? That tracks.
I had a huge cardboard like cutout of Tigger on my wall, like as a teenager.
My favorite was the Tasmanian Devil. And like my friends would go on vacation and bring me keychains of it and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Wow. Yeah. We are special people.
It tracks.
100%.
Just like our animals.
100%.
Elsa and her sister Anna could represent schizophrenia, like two dueling personalities.
Yeah. Or
Elsa also can represent major depressive disorder because she locks herself away.
Yeah. Have you ever read all those theories or heard all of those about how they're really related to, is it Rapunzel?
Yeah. It's like the whole Disney verse or whatever they call it.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Who else?
Alice, schizophrenia. Alice in Wonderland. She's seen all sorts of caterpillars smoking hookahs
all the things, all the things. She gets really small. Or is it drug use? Hallucinogens.
Eat me.
Yeah.
Drink me.
Yeah.
Scar, antisocial personality disorder. I don't think that needs really any.
No, we're good with that.
Bell, Stockholm syndrome.
Absolutely.
Yes. Ariel, OCD, and dysophobia, hoarding disorder. Because she hoards all of her human trinkets in that ship.
Yes, her dingle hoppers and things. Yep.
The thingamajigs.
Wow.
What this reminds me of is when all the judges went through the movie The Grinch. And
that we talked about, yes, and all the conditions and disorders and body morphias and all the things that, yeah, absolutely. I'm liking this though. So now that we've talked about it, I'm thinking probably what it was they're just breaking down these things after the fact, probably not before, but I remember reading something about like most of the traditional Disney movies have trauma of some kind. Most of them are parental.
Killing off the mom.
Yeah. Bambi, all the other ones we've mentioned. Yeah, that's no wonder this whole generation we're like we are. What we grew up with. Mm-hmm. Between that and the unrealistic expectations of a library because of Belle's library that she has.
Or animals helping you clean.
Right. I told Brian, though, if we're ever so rich that we just have a mammoth house, I want a library. I mean, like a cozy little area, moody vibes in there, comfy, cozy spot.
Okay. My library would be filled with bean bags, like those giant bean bags.
Okay.
And like a big bay window.
Yeah.
And then wall-to-wall bookshelves.
Yeah, absolutely. All the bookshelves. I'm thinking more almost like a Chase Lounge kind of thing.
And a fireplace.
100%. Absolutely fireplace. Oh, and the ladder to the second stair. Yes. To the second level of books.
Yes. Yeah. Well, especially for me, because.
So the ladder for the first level of books.
To get to the top level of the first bookcase.
But yeah, I would love to have one. Love to have a library.
Yeah, I would love to have a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a compound for sale in like Alabama or somewhere, and I just saw it on Facebook. And I guess when they built it, it was $24 million, and it's on the market for $5 million right now. And but it has 27 acres of land. The main house alone is like the size of the White House, like legit has the same square footage as the White House. And then there's 2 guest homes that are bigger than any homes that I've ever been in.
Wow.
Like physically have been in.
Yeah. Not that we stalked online.
But 2 guest houses that are like 7,000 or 6,000 square feet.
What?
And then there's like, the pool, the tennis courts, all the things.
Right.
But yeah, so they were saying it was so crazy because it cost they think it was 24 million to build, but they can't get 24 million for it. And it's on the market for 5 million.
Somebody's getting a deal.
Sheesh.
Yeah. That's quite a cut.
Yeah, very much so.
Would you live on a compound like that? With people you would choose. So like families you would choose.
Oh, I could choose. Heck yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Yeah. But if it was okay, let's just move on.
Okay. Moving on. Did you organize your books though back there?
No.
Change them? I was gonna say I can't really see like what's going on back there, but
no, I made the list. I just didn't do it.
That's not the way that's supposed to work.
No.
That's funny.
Hey, I know that we both kind of like the supernatural stuff. So did you see they found a dragon skull, what they think is a dragon skull in a well in Romania?
No.
Yeah. So this dude was digging a well in Romania, and like they have the picture of like the above, and it's like pretty deep. It's like 20, 30 feet or whatever in the ground. And the skull head is like as big as the dude.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm all for it. Why are we thinking dragons, not dinosaurs?
I guess how like the snout is, it's more like how dragons are always
Fire breathable?
yeah, just like the long snout, like however it's shaped, it looks like more dragony. And I mean, Romania kind of checks, right? I mean, I don't know.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, they're thinking dragons, or that's what they're calling it, is a dragon skull.
That's crazy.
Bananas, but I'm here for. I mean, I'm like, bring back that. Listen, you can keep the woolly mammoth. Bring back the dragons.
No, I don't want to just be sitting here and a dragon fly by.
I want to ride one. I want to be like How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh,
give me a Toothless.
If it's sweet like Toothless, absolutely. But like those mean, angry ones?
I'd get one of those like dingy ones that like fly into a tree.
You'd get the broken dragon. Oh.
So I went down the dragon rabbit hole on TikTok after I saw that video. Yeah. And then I guess not too long ago, and I don't know, I mean, it could be whatever, not real, but it looked kind of legit. But there was people in China, like they went on this tour in the mountains and stuff. And there's a video of what looks like a dragon flying. It doesn't look like a bird, any kind of bird, nothing. Like it looks
like a dragon.
Yeah. And so now I keep going on TikTok, and these like weird creatures are coming out of all of these caves and stuff in like different countries. Like somebody needs to stop rolling the Jumanji dice.
Right. Right.
We're good.
We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. Oh my goodness.
And like these like crazy huge eggs are being found.
Really?
In like these caves and stuff. So either like dragons are still around, or
that is creepy.
But how cool is that?
I mean, yeah.
Like they escaped from like the secret world that we're not supposed to know about. Like
maybe
they crossed over.
Maybe the caves are like the portals to get there.
Well, on my dragon journey down TikTok land, there was somebody had made a post, and then like I went to ChatGPT and said, hey, can you give me all the information on this, because I wanted to know like what was on the internet, but I didn't want to do the Goog. So I did you
say that whole sentence into your ChatGPT? Hey, can you give me this? Because I really don't want to look it up myself, but I really want the information.
No, I said, can you find me all the info and put it in easy bullet points for my podcast? Admiral Richard Byrd and the Secrets of North Pole. Because North Pole, you're not supposed to fly over North Pole. And there is satellite images where it just looks like it's a black hole. The North Pole. Like it is like a black hole. And so Admiral Richard Byrd, he was a U.S. Navy officer, explorer, and a national hero, claimed to be the first to fly over the North Pole in 1926. He led expeditions to Antarctica and was known for his scientific contributions. So his North Pole flight in 1926, he flew and sparked a controversy because he says that he found a massive opening and it led to the hollow earth within. So this is where like Journey to the Center of the Earth, like that movie, that's what he is saying he found. Like,
what?
Yeah. So he says it was like lush green, tropical type of whatever, dinosaurs. I mean, all of the creatures and the things that they say are no longer whatever. And then like he met the master down there, and I guess like the big man in charge, which is like this like giant alienish thing.
Okay.
So supposedly his diary, but they can't prove it is. So this is like conspiracy theory. That he like this diary survived, and it accounts all of his journey to the center of the earth.
That is crazy.
Right? I don't know. And he said that he brought all of his stuff to the U.S. government, and they were like, "Nope, we're covering that up."
What year was that? Did it
1926.
99 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was like, he said that there was like UFO style stuff down there, like flying crafts, and like it's like a whole like world inside of our world.
I 100% believe that if you go to that place in Nevada where Will Smith went, that you'll see all that stuff. Where was that? You know what I'm talking about? Area 51.
51. Yeah.
52, 51.
Isn't that bananas?
Yeah. What's crazy too is I've never heard anything about that.
Yeah. But there's like legit satellite images.
Yeah.
That just show like a black hole.
Black hole.
I don't know. Santa Claus don't live there.
No.
It's a black hole.
No. That's crazy. All this stuff that could possibly be real, that sometimes there's proof of it being real, it's crazy scary.
Listen, I told you that I believe in all of the things. These things don't just pop up from nowhere.
Right. What gets me is all the random animals that'll wash up on shore.
Freaks me out.
Yeah, 100%.
And then 100%. The mermaid tails and...
Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't want to talk about it while I'm right here at the beach planning on going back out there tomorrow.
Well, luckily Myrtle usually doesn't have anything wash up. It's usually like Japan and like those like other places.
Thailand and
They say America already has enough crazy. We don't need to give them any more.
Kind of like how the UFOs were like, nope, don't start there. Keep going. Yep. Keep going.
Yeah. I was probably like, I went down this like huge rabbit hole of all the weird things after the dragon head.
I'm going to have to look that up. I'm fascinated with that. Did they show pictures of it?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to look it up.
And then I was like dragon sightings, and like it was like popping up like all of these like.
I have never heard of anybody seeing a dragon. Now, that is just crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, and I swear they wipe the internet of things that they don't want us to know. And then there's TikTok that just lets it all hang out.
Dragon head found. Very strange. Wait, this is in Scotland. Where did you say it was? Romania? Okay, I'm going to have to take a dive down that too. Thanks for that.
Sorry. You'll be there a while.
Yeah.
While Brian's driving on the way home, you can go down the rabbit hole.
Right. I'll have to. I'm going to have to.
You want to do Am I the A-hole?
Yeah. Why don't you read it since we're kind of at a weird...
All right. Am I the a-hole for yelling at a 19-year-old and asking for him to be fired? All right. Throwaway account. I, 37 male, and my husband, 39 male, have been together 11 years. My husband owns a small bookshop and recently has hired a boy to help him. The lad, I'll call him Joe, is gay. And while me and my husband very obviously have no issues with this, Joe seems to be doing things a lot differently to us. For context, both me and my husband are Irish immigrants to London. And no, I am not speaking in a London accent or an Irish accent for that matter.
Then I'm done. Well, that's exactly how I heard it.
We grew up 20 minutes away from each other and went to the same very Catholic school. We aren't exactly flamboyant or outwardly gay and don't exactly do PDA since that's how we were raised. On my lunch break from work, I like to visit my husband, bringing him records I think he might like and his coffee. Recently, however, Joe has started making comments. It started small with him saying things about queer joy and how he loves gay couples, which we didn't mind at all. In all fairness, it's a fairly scary world for queer people right now, and I understand seeming a happy married gay couple means a lot for a kid. But then he started getting a little too comfortable for my liking. He started asking things like, who's the top? And calling us the F slur jokingly. I think it's entirely inappropriate to be making those comments to his boss, but my husband told me to let it go. Joe calls us the F slur a lot, which I had brought up a few times, telling him calmly to not do that. But when we continued, I learned to let it go, despite my distaste for it. It didn't seem to bother my husband too much. Last Wednesday, I lost it. I was up by the counter when Joe came in. He immediately started blathering on about how effy we were. And while my husband chuckled awkwardly, I did not. Joe noticed this and said I was a stick in the mud and repressed. I was trying to keep my cool until he called me a Fanian F slur. I don't know what that means. It might be a London thing.
Yeah.
And I lost it. For anyone who doesn't know the term, I should have went on a little further. For anyone who doesn't know the term, Fanian isn't exactly a slur or anything, but it isn't exactly nice either. Me and my husband jokingly call each other Fanians or Patties from time to time if we've something particularly Irish, and I've never exactly viewed it as very offensive, but something about this English boy made me snap. This poor guy.
Yeah.
I asked him if he thought that it was appropriate to say things to his boss's partner and started shouting, telling him he's way out of line and if he wants to keep his job, he should buck up. I like that. I'm going to start saying that. Buck up.
Buck up.
I left to cool down a bit and about 30 minutes later got a call from my husband berating me, saying that Joe was crying and that he's just a kid. I do feel bad since he's young, but I still think he needed to be knocked down a few steps. Am I the a-hole? There is an update to this as well.
Okay. That's a tough one because at 19, like they're old enough to be working and an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I think could have been a better way to do it than just having his intermittent explosive disorder like come out. What do you think?
I think that the husband should have addressed it.
Yeah,
because if they're in a place of business, slurs shouldn't be used, period.
Agreed.
And if the husband's the boss, I think he should have handled it.
Yeah.
But if he wasn't going to handle it, maybe have been said nicer. But I understand the frustration that he probably had. Yeah. And he had reached his limit with the husband not taking a stand on anything. But let's get to the update.
Okay.
Because it's a good one.
Okay.
All right. Update. Joe is my husband's son. Dude didn't know his husband had a son. Okay. I won't go into too much detail for both mine and their privacy, but I had a major fight with my husband about why he was being so lenient with him and why he didn't have my back in this. We were shouting back and forth until he shouted something about blood being thicker than water. I shouted back about him being just some boy, and he stopped suddenly. Then he told me Joe is from an existing ex-girlfriend of his who's now unable to take care of him, so my husband picked him up. He's been paying child support for years. We have separate bank accounts, so I never noticed. I'm contemplating separation and divorce. Someone I've known for 25 years became a stranger in 10 seconds. I physically got sick thinking back on those sexual remarks that he made to his father. My husband's always went white as a ghost when he said those kinds of things, and that was possibly the only thing that actually gave him away. But it still makes me feel sick all the same. Sorry, I won't be responding to comments. I need to get my head right personally.
So they've been together or they've known each other 25 years.
Yeah.
And the kid is 19.
Yep.
It sounds like there's a lot of stuff that they need to work through there.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I still stand on I'm 100% with you though. Now even more with that's his father and his boss. He should have handled it.
I want to know who's top and bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. He deserved a dressing down, as they say. Yeah. That's not okay.
No.
Well,
I don't think he's the a-hole, and I feel even more so now that he is not the a-hole.
Right. I hope he gets his stuff figured out, because that's just devastating.
My God. I don't know if I would have. I don't know.
I'm glad he's using a throwaway anonymous account.
My God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was intense.
Yeah. Wow. Poor dude.
I was a little bit like, oh, okay, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Moving on.
So if you're not a bookie and you don't want to listen to our review of Lake of the Lost Girls, now is your time to leave.
Bye, y'all. We still love you.
We do still love you. Please leave us a review. Bye.
Bye. Okay, do you
All right.
have a blurb of the blurb?
I do.
Okay.
So we read Lake of the Lost Girls by Catherine Green. So in 1998, college freshman Jessica Fadley vanishes amidst a string of disappearances at Southern State University. Over 2 decades later, her sister Lindsay reignites the search for answers. Driven by a hit true crime podcast and a chilling discovery at a local lake. As past and present collide, the story explores the dark threads of sisterhood, secrets, and society's obsession with true crime.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Did, yes.
I did too.
And I had read this before, but I did not remember. And how I did not remember the ending, I don't know. Because, wow. But yeah, I really liked this book.
Yeah. I texted you. I was like halfway through and I'm like, is it actually really good?
Yeah. Thank goodness, because our luck with books has been running pretty poor lately.
Yeah.
I had a lot of feelings about it, though. I felt so many things for Lindsay.
Same.
Like sad and hurt and frustrated and angry and
yes. I mean, you went through a roller coaster of emotions through this book. So it did give us dual timelines and different point of views. And I was able to keep everything straight, which is
same. And I struggle.
Yes, not always the easiest, but I definitely kept everything straight with this book, which chef's kiss.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think that the family dynamics obviously were weird, but I think it was written so well and hitting on how like favorite children and how parents can kind of use that power of a favorite child to either pin kids against each other or parents against each other.
Right.
So I thought that was a really interesting, it wasn't like the main focus of the book, but I picked up on it.
Right. Well, and you knew something with the relationship between Jess and the dad was off.
And I thought it was going in a different direction.
100%. And I feel like that's what they wanted you to think. So you would be 100% taken aback by the ending of it. Which spoilers, let's go ahead and throw that out there. Because we're probably going to have them. So it was just really well written, the way that they lead you to believe. She led you to believe it was going to be an appropriate relationship between the father and daughter, and it was not.
Right. But he did have inappropriate relationships with other young people.
Yes.
And she
the
found out.
hypocrisy there when he has had multiple relationships with girls, like teenage girls, and then his daughter is messing around with a professor, and he's like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah. I think it said that she actually never went through with it.
She didn't, but still, just the thought of the thought of her,
I hated Ryan, the boyfriend.
No.
I hated him.
So you wanted to like him, and you wanted Lindsay to have some kind of a positive partner helping her with this stuff, and he ends up being just a big jerk who had played her from the beginning.
But like, gross. Like, you're trying to date your missing / dead girlfriend's sister. Like, ew. Like, much younger than the sister.
Yes.
The whole thing was just weird and it was gross.
Ickiness, with a lot of the relationships. Agreed. Most of the relationships were gross.
Obviously, I didn't guess the ending. Right. But so my thought on the ending, and obviously we're doing spoilers. We always do. So if you didn't read it and you want to read it, here's your cue to leave. But I thought that the dad was molesting whatever.
Yes.
People. Yeah, I thought that she was a victim, but like also when he said like young girls or like, barely legal or whatever.
Right.
So I thought that she was helping the dad get rid of the bodies.
Okay.
Because he said, if I'm going down, you're going down too.
Yeah.
And So that I was like, oh, well, maybe she's helping him like hide the bodies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was the boyfriend.
Right.
I never like thought about that.
I mean, they kind of want, he's kind of just in there as like a wild card, like not really saying he didn't do it, but things could line up so that he did.
Yeah.
But I never thought he did either.
I, again, never in a million years would have came to the conclusion of the ending of the book.
Right. She really tried to steer you in the direction of it being the professor.
Yeah.
That's really what she wanted you to believe. And yeah, never in a million years, even after reading it before, would I have guessed. How about the fact on where Jess was found?
Ew.
Right?
Ew.
That dad got so many issues.
Ew.
Yeah.
Like I have.
Ew.
Ew. To think about having been that close to a decaying
for all that time,
and nobody ever went into like I was a Snoopy kid. Like,
yeah,
there is no way that I wouldn't have been like at some point in time lifting up that.
Well, what about the mom too? Like, remember they go into detail about how there were, what was it, squirrels or a dead possum, and the smell, and they go into detail about that. So at the time when all this stuff was happening with these girls going missing, or you know, you're not, I don't know, I guess we see what we want to see, right?
Well, I assumed that the dad just like told her that that's what it was.
Yeah,
like
100%. Yeah.
I don't think that the mom knew anything. I think that the mom was horrible.
Yeah.
Like she had her own issues.
Yes. Yeah, because she had the second daughter because she wanted somebody to love her like their relationship, which isn't healthy.
Yeah. The whole thing was.
Yeah, it was twisted enough for me to like it though.
I know, me too. What would you rate it?
I'd give it a 9.
I was gonna go 8.5, 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And I did not guess the ending whatsoever.
No, it was very well done with a lot of information, a lot of going back and forth, not getting lost, the unpredictable aspect of it too, and then just twisted enough.
For us.
Yeah.
All right. So the next book that we are going to attempt to read is The Marsh King's Daughter by Karen Dion. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yep.
Helena has a loving husband, 2 beautiful daughters, and a business that fills her days. But she also has a secret. She is the product of an abduction. Her mother was kidnapped as a teenager by her father and kept in a remote cabin in the marshlands of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Helena, born 2 years after the abduction, loved her home in nature, and despite her father's sometimes brutal behavior, she loved him too, until she learned precisely how savage he could be. More than 20 years later, she has buried her past so soundly that even her husband doesn't know the truth. But now her father has killed 2 guards, escaped from prison, and disappeared into the marsh. The police begin a manhunt, but Helena knows they don't stand a chance, knows that only one person has the skills to find the survivalist the world calls the Marsh King, because only one person was ever trained by him, his daughter. So it doesn't sound bad.
Sounds a little different with the marshy and the tracking.
Yeah.
But
we got the abduction. We got
some twisted
stuff.
Babies being born. Yeah. Twisted enough for us to like it. So fingers crossed.
So we will read that and get with that book next week on the podcast. Oh, we got a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yep, we did. I should have screenshotted that. I didn't think about it.
How does it happen?
I don't know.
Well, thank you guys for listening. We love you. And please leave us a review, 5 stars, with a fabulous little blurb of how.
A little blurb on why you love us.
Yes.
What your favorite thing is about us, even if it's that we love raccoons.
And we want to be a sloth.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Go for it. But thank you, and we love y'all.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that wraps up another episode of This Is My Circus. If you survived this episode and somehow still like us, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with your friends, or just send us caffeine.
And don't forget, you can join our VIP circus crew for the full video version of each episode. Also, exclusive bonus content, access to merch, and so much more.
Until next time, keep the drink strong, the books coming, and the kids only mildly feral.
Because this is our circus, and these are our monkeys.
Love ya!